Well, hi there. Welcome to the 7 steps for releasing the year. Wow, this has come so fast. We are ready to look at releasing this year. And so the process begins, and it begins today. The next 5 weeks we are going to be talking about the process of releasing, and we're going to use the 7-step process in doing so. So for you all that have never been up the 7 steps with me, hi, you're going to go up 7 steps with me. And if you've been going up the 7 steps with me for releasing the year for years, which many of you have, because I've certainly been teaching this for at least 15 years, and I can tell you quite honestly that I have been doing it for myself for the last 30 years. So I can vouch for the process and how important it is to your spiritual journey. So welcome, welcome, welcome to moving out of this year successfully and releasing all the things, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, that we are all going to be doing together in this process. And the process deals with 7 steps. And the first step that we will be doing is we will be saying in gratitude, thank you, God, for this year. I am grateful for this year. You're going to end up listing all the things that you're grateful for and journaling it. And I said a dirty word, didn't I? Journaling. I know many of you tell me journaling isn't much fun, but I know what you mean. But it is important on your spiritual journey to learn to journal. Because by journaling, you give your subconscious an opportunity to things to come up to the conscious mind. Simply by journaling, those things will come up that I'll put it this way, that are unexpected. I have found that always to be true, and always to be true for all those that have contacted me and told me they were working with me to move themselves into the new year. So this works. And it's important to get your little journal out and set aside time each day to work on the different steps here. I will be talking to you individually about each step and giving you reasons to do it and the importance of it, but you are going to have to do the work. So the first step is that we have to look and say, thank you, God, for this year. Because the next step is going to be, thank you for the good times. As you can see, it has a process to it. And then we go into the hopes and dreams for this year. What were the hopes and dreams that you had at the beginning of this year that perhaps happened and perhaps didn't happen? But the desires of your heart are still lingering in this year. So we need to look at those, as well as going into the disappointments and difficulties. And there's always disappointments and difficulties that we need to look at and resolve within ourselves. So you're going to have an opportunity to do that around the 3rd or 4th week, and then we're going to go into the next big step. Big step is forgiveness. And it is a huge step because it's about releasing yourself and forgiving yourself for those things that you coulda, woulda, shoulda done, and forgiving the people in your life that you feel that didn't quite step up to your expectations of them this year, or the difficulties that you went through with them. You need to forgive that also. So then finally, we come to that part of the 7 steps where we surrender everything that we did this year and take it and say, I surrender this to the infinite intelligence of this universe, the karmic board, the whomever you feel most comfortable about surrendering it to. You give it to the process of your heart and let go of it, so that we are free to move into a whole new aspect of ourselves. Because we live in the opposites, every year has its good times and its difficult times. That's part of being on the 3rd dimension. And we need to look at both the good times and the not so good times, because it's a balance. We are always balancing our karma. We are balancing every year those things that are happening in our life, our karmic responsibilities we have to our soul. Now your soul has evolved through eons and eons of time. And you've had a lot of the people that you will be addressing in these 7 steps as big players in your life this last year. And you need to look at that very carefully, because you want to do whatever you can to release it, to let it go, and to move on into the next year with nothing holding you back. You see, there's a string that gets attached to us if we don't let go. We are tethered to it. It will pull us around in the universe and yank us this way and that way, and we need to let go of it so it doesn't pull us into the year that you are releasing when you're in the next year. Did I make that clear? In the year that you are releasing right now, if you don't release those things, they are going to appear next year for you to take care of. So, in this process, and it's balancing your karmic wheel. We've been talking about karma. We've been talking about the lords of karma. We've been talking about being the observer of self. And we've also been talking about the fact that you have to commit to your journey and work in the best interest of your soul at all times. With that said, I have talked to you about the karmic board in the last couple weeks, and I have discussed with you how life plans are put together, how your life has been very carefully arranged with certain situations to help you grow and to change and to resolve some of the karma with some of the people that you've been with before. And they get to resolve it with you. But it's your responsibility to resolve it for yourself, and it's their responsibility to resolve it if you're in their life and there's things that didn't quite come up to snuff with you that they have to forgive. So this process is fair. It's a fair process because in the scheme of it, your life plan has brought you to these people that you're dealing with right now, these souls, and you have said, yes, I want to have these people and souls in my life, and I want to learn from them and grow with them and do whatever is necessary for me to move forward on my journey. And because I had time before I ever got into this body to visit with the lords of karma and make certain choices of what I wanted to happen in my life, and things were lined up perfectly with the parents, with the education you've had, with the career that you are now enjoying or not enjoying, whatever that means for you. But you signed up for it to learn something from it, so embrace it and say, I want to learn what I need to learn so I can go on. You see, this year is no different from any other year, because you need to erase, here's my little karmic ball, you need to erase some of the karma that you did this year, good, bad, or indifferent. You need to erase it. And the 7 steps erases old karma. It is the best tool I have ever been given to share with you, because it supports the forgiveness process, which ultimately supports you in letting go of old karmic patterns, because you are on the law of karma and you have decided to have certain people in your life for the purpose of growing and changing and becoming more conscious of the God self, of your own self. You also have to become more conscious of the God self in them. You can't hold them hostage to you, because when we hold things hostage to us, then we are stuck like glue to bring that person into the next year if things have not been resolved. And if you end up in this lifetime without resolving these things, you are going to have another lifetime. So if you can look at this as this year that you've just completed, or are about to complete, shall I say, is about a year full of experiences of good, bad, and indifferent, and each one of them had their purpose of supporting you on your journey that you choose to take. Even if you are denying that, I would never choose that. What are you talking about, Jane? I would never choose that person to be in my life. Believe me, you did, or they wouldn't be there. Or I would never have chosen this job with these people ever. Oh my God, this is craziness. Yes, you did. Because you wanted to work something out. And you're going to be back in another job with these people in the future if you don't work out what you need to work out and learn from the experience with them so that you can move forward. And family situations, absolutely. Our family are our biggest spiritual debtors or creditors, whatever you want to call it. You would not have come into the lifetime with them had you not had something that you needed to work out. If it's your child, you had something to work out with that child. Perhaps that child was your father or mother in another lifetime. And there's still issues that need to be taken care of. Other times you have been with that soul and it's been a wonderful experience and you have said, let's be in it together again, because you're a trusted soul in my life and I know I can trust you. I am sure of that. I want you back in the next one because we have plans to move in consciousness, and I know you're the very best soul now to support and help me. You have those in your life too. But you have to look at it all. You can't miss any of these 7 steps because they're all designed to help you to erase karma. And this is what we're about, letting go, erasing, taking those thought forms and letting them go now and forever. And the the masters of the universe, the masters will support and help you because it's their desire of their heart to move you along as fast as possible. And if you do a little bit of the work, trust me, they will do a maximum part of the work to help you. So you're not alone in this process. These 7 steps are your answer to the evolution of your soul. So, when we are looking at this first step of thank you, God, I'm sure there's going to be some things going through your head saying, boy, I'm not too thankful about this year. If so, go and jot down, I'm not very happy about this. Disappointments and difficulties, throw it in that category. That's the 4th step. So make a list of all these steps right now. And then as the process begins and we start working on this week, you may find you're jumping around. And that's perfectly okay. I find I always jump around. It's not always about thank you, God, but doing the thank you, God portion of it, I start to think about, boy, I'm not too thankful about this, or I'm not too thankful about that, or, oh boy, that my hope and dream was this, and this is what happened. Those things you need to go to that step 3, which is hopes and dreams. Write them down. So what I'm saying to you is, get your notebook out, write the 7 steps down, and have a page for each one of the steps, and do it now. Because I promise you, you're going to have aha moments that are going to help you to work through this process quickly and easily by, wow, this happened, I need to put that in this category. That happened, oh my God, I was so grateful when that happened. Oops, I'm going to put that down in 1. So we are going to be working on all 7 steps at the same time during the week. But by focusing on thank you, God, other things are going to come into your consciousness that you need to put on your list. So this is very important that you make your list now and have it in a notebook where you can go to each page as these things surface in your consciousness. Because I found out after all these years of 30 years of going through this, the best way of handling these things was skipping around when it was clear in my consciousness. Because sometimes when I sat down for the good times, I wasn't feeling very good about things. And I couldn't take that step right then. So I would move to whatever step that entailed and stuck the information there. So through doing that, you're going to find that you have a very, very good understanding of the whole year. Because our goal is to release it, clean it up, let go of it, so that new possibilities will come to you in this following year that will support your spiritual growth. Because you've said to the Lords of Karma, I want to support my spiritual growth. This is the lifetime. Instead of evolving through experiences of the opposites, I now want to go within and process my life and my soul and move in consciousness, and I'm dedicating now to go within. So it's called involution. And only very, very strong souls get into this process. Because mainly, most souls do not want to look at themselves seriously. Because so many times, and I found this for myself, it was easier for me to blame everybody else for what was happening in my life than taking responsibility for it and what I had to learn from that experience. Once I realized that by going within, I'm opening the door to my higher self, my karma, and to the education I need to move into the next state of being, the next state of being, hear that, because that's where you're headed, the pure next state of being, which goes beyond the opposites. And I'm sure that you would not be in this class with me if you hadn't made some sort of decision that I don't want the opposites anymore. I need to get this straightened out. I'm tired of this. Every lifetime I come down, I think I'm going to have everything my way, and it never happens because there's always something that's left out, and I can't repair it. So I want to go within. And you found out that the center for your enlightenment is within. It's not out there. It's not going to be picking up something out there to make you whole. No, it never will, because it's like something that is like mercury. You grab it, and before you can hang on to it, it disappears right in your very own hands. That's the opposites. It just disappears. And there you are, wailing in the opposites, screaming about, oh my God, why am I here? This morning I was happy. Tonight I'm very unhappy. This morning my children made me happy, and look at, I'm having to help them with their homework, and man, they're acting like little brats, and I can't get them to do the work they're supposed to do. Oh my God. These things happen to us all the time, as parents, as employers, as employees. All these happen, and we're not going to move out of this cycle until we take charge of it. You have to take charge of the cycle. I'm telling you as plainly as I can that there is more to you than you think there is. If you move into this involution of consciousness, you're going to develop new skills, you're going to have new understandings, and you're going to have the opportunity to let go of everything in your karmic ball. So, now, back to the 7 steps for releasing this year. It's important, very important that you do these steps. If you want to grow spiritually, it's extremely important because we have to erase old patterns within ourselves. And the only way these things can be erased if we find out what they are, and this is why I've talked to you so much about being the observer, because I wanted to train you to be that witness of yourself, the observer of self. Be the actor and the observer at the same time so that you can divorce yourself, and I do mean divorce yourself from humanhood into the next state of being, which is called pure state of being. Pure state. There is no karmic law there. There is no opposites there. It's being in that now, eternal, eternal now. Wouldn't you rather be in the eternal now than be dancing with bad health, no money, whatever your situation is right now? Maybe you got all the money in the world and no health. Maybe you have all the health in the world and no money. I mean, something's always going to be tripping up the game because we have to learn. We have to grow. And people have said to me, Jane, is all karma bad karma? Absolutely not. It's all about growth. It's all the things that you need and have desired to understand more. if you killed somebody in another lifetime, and you say, oh, then I have to be killed. No, it balances out. If you have that experience of killing, if you don't balance it out, you'll be a murderer for the next 50 lifetimes. But if you have the opportunity to live a life where then you are murdered, you understand what it feels like. You understand how it is. And you never want to do that again. So you'll stay clean. You'll stay beyond that. Does everybody go and murder somebody to learn this? No. A lot of souls don't. But if they let their anger rule their life, they'll probably end up being a murderer one time or another, simply because that anger is going to get so bad at some time that something terrible will happen, that you will end up doing something that is not in the best interest of your soul, and then you have to balance it. So everything that you have accomplished in all the other lifetimes is here to support you. To support you. So you are not doing this for naught. You have lots of support, lots of help. The minute you say, I want to be an involutionist rather than an evolution, which evolves into more experiences on the third dimension, you're going within. That's a whole new opportunity for you to find yourself in a whole new position when you pass over and move into higher consciousness. It's worth the time. You're going to suffer one way or another. You might as well be suffering to let go of things rather than to have to suffer and not have it for a good purpose. To forgive is very important. And forgiveness sometimes creates suffering for you. The lack of it will create great suffering. So we're all going to be working on that in the 5th step. But just think about the things that you need to forgive while you're working on the very 1st step if it comes up into consciousness. Okay? So you're in a process. So if you will turn for a moment and look at the 1st step is gratitude and acceptance. Gratitude and acceptance. Thank you, God. And what are you thankful for regarding this year? That is what I want you to write about. What are you thankful for? And really zero in on this. And then, of course, the next thing is, what did the year give you? Maybe it gave you a raise, maybe a child, maybe a new job. Whatever it gave you, we are grateful. And of course, how has this year affected and been important in your life? How is it affected and it's important in your life? What has this year granted to you? Maybe it has to do with your spiritual growth that you've never had before. Maybe it's learning more about your business that you never had before. It's all about what really happened this year that impacted you. I want you to look at that, because some of the things that impacted you this year, you're going to say, whoa, I need to look at these things, forgive them, release them, and let them go. We are on a journey together. I support you. And next week we're going to look at good times. And we're going to see what are the good times. Okay? Are you with me? Got homework to do. Do it for your soul. Do it for your whole self. Do it because you want to move in consciousness. Thank you. I love the 7 steps because they've changed my life year after year after year for over 30 years. So if you think I'm a little bit passionate about this subject, you bet your life I am. Bye-bye for now.